Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rebels Without a Castle. Yet another lore shot here. The price of knowledge. My name is Zach Savage, and I will be your lore master this evening. I am joined by roughly half of my normal cast here. As you can see, we are missing a few familiar faces, but worry not, we're still going to get into it. So they're going to go through, tell you who they are. Hyacinth.
I am Hyacinth. My handle is Hyacinth Wonders pretty much everywhere. And tonight I am playing Tin, the Earth Genasi Ranger. That's all I got.
And that'll do it. That'll work.
Yeah.
Laura.
Yeah. Hi, hello, good evening, folks. You can call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. You can find out all of the things that I do at lauratutu.com. And tonight I am playing the half-drow sorcerer, Tamsin.
Oh boy, nothing bad could ever happen when there's someone who can double their spells in the party. This is going to be super.
It's
going to be great.
And last
I'll
but
wrap
not
it up.
least,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep going. I'll keep
going.
going. We talked at the same thing. It's fine. It's fine. If you feel compelled to do it, you can do it. Do the
Oh,
thing.
it's fine. The moment's lost.
Okay. Well, fine. Clearly, that's how tonight is going to go. Hi, everybody. I'm Pyrea. You can find me on all the socials as Pyrea. Just check it out. See what I'm doing. I post about it. Yeah. And tonight, I'm going to play Marlowe, the Changeling Warlock.
Very good.
Back to you, Zach.
Pyrea also does all of her art.
Oh, I
Just
do.
make sure that I get that out there.
Nah.
Perfect. All right, friends. So, as opposed to our normal shenanigans that are usually taking place in the current day, we are going to be transported back a few hundred years into the past. Currently, there is a devastating plague sweeping through the southern part of the continent across Rahadrian. People, animals, plant life have all begun bearing these marks of deep crimson, red, and inky black scars across their bodies. And if they're lucky, they perish quickly. But unfortunately, not many are lucky. All attempts to heal this plague by clerics and druids and just trained medical practitioners have all failed, and more often than not leave the healers exposed to this deadly plague. It does not seem to have a rhyme or reason to who it infects or what region it tends to stick to. It feels random. And for most, that is the worst part. Our fine crew here have been enlisted to go forth and find answers in a different part of the world. Across the sea of Elendrior is the realm of Linendaria, a realm that tends to hold slightly more connection to the magic of the plane than its western counterpart, and is also home to a trove of insurmountable knowledge known as the Hold Arcanum. Not many make the pilgrimage out this way to seek audience with the librarians, but unfortunately this catastrophe has left them with no other recourse. The journey has been hard and long, with weather and just the sheer number of miles that they have had to travel, but it does appear that they are almost at journey's end, as this wagon that has been transporting you from the edge of the Great Waste to Dorea, where the Hold Arcanum is said to be housed, Tin, what are you doing as you cross these last few miles of your journey?
Tin, being fairly antisocial, would be walking a little bit by herself, keeping out an eye for any tracks that are potentially dangerous, and also just kind of like whittling as she goes. Some random stick she found, trying to turn it into some sort of cool shape. Doesn't really know what she's doing, but it looks like a good distraction so that she looks busy and people don't approach her.
Perfect. Give me a sleight of hand or a I suppose like a performance check to just see
Okay.
how this carving is going.
Do I get to pick? Because they're very different.
Yeah, you can pick, sure.
Okay. It's like the Renaissance equivalent of pretending you're texting on your phone at a party because you feel awkward. Okay, she got a 13, so.
Okay. Yeah, so with a 13, you are just kind of like absent-mindedly removing material from this stick. And even like without you really knowing it, you look down and you see that you are kind of you've kind of worked like this almost like little like scale pattern into it. And you could do with that whatever you could. You could replicate a dragon or a snake or a lizard. Really, the world's your oyster. It will take a little bit more time, though. Maybe on the journey back.
Yeah.
Tamsin, how do you while away the last few hours of this journey?
I think Tamsin has been sitting in the back of the cart, just reading through all of the materials that she brought along. In spite of the fact that it has been a slog to get anything on this fucking disease. Listen, I took the sage background for a reason.
How much material are we talking about here, Tamsin?
A not insignificant number of scrolls.
Just the
Perfect.
whole bag.
Just a whole
trunk
bag
of
of scrolls.
pack light. I did.
Yeah.
It's just some light reading.
Fantastic. So, so the scroll. What scroll do you have in your hands currently, right now? What are you perusing?
I believe at this point we're going down the list of most probable to least probable. So I think we've gone from like actual biological instances of disease and contagion to like fucking arcanic gods based divinity nonsense.
Give me a perception or investigation check on your scroll real quick.
You know what? They are both the same and they're both not great. Which is still a natural 20 for 21.
Hey!
We love to see it. So this scroll that you have in your hands, it is always best to start from the beginning of something, right? And as you peruse this scroll detailing the creation of the world, you parse through and you see how the world was born from this seed that a force unknown seemed to have planted into the cosmos itself and bloomed into what you know as it is today. You read about the children of the bloom, or as you all most commonly know them as the gods of this world of Vastra. and how they rule over their several domains. And as you begin to scroll down through this list of gods and where and how they rule, you get to the bottom and you see this little singe mark at the bottom of the scroll. In your haste while you were packing all of this material, you failed to realize that the tail end of this scroll, and I'm not going to front, I don't know what like the little part of the scroll, like the wooden part that rolls into it, is called. It's, you know what, in the,
Like
you know
a
what,
dowel? That's probably not the
Ma-
technical
I
name.
mean, like that's a
maybe-
dowel rod, yeah. Like
you know what, it's an aglet now. This is going to be
It's
what
an
the world's
aglet. I love that.
aglets are.
Okay.
So
Scroll
the
aglet.
scroll aglet. This scroll only has one. And you feel like you have a complete picture, but it begs to wonder what else could be there.
Odd.
Which brings us to our warlock, Marlowe. Only a few precious hours left of time left on the road before the real work begins. As if one could say that this journey was not real work. How do you spend it?
I think that Marlowe from the very beginning of this process has been a lot like is it Tamsin? Tamsin? Is that how you
Mhm.
say their name? Okay. In the fact that they're showing interest in everything around them, but instead of writing it down on scrolls and trying to scribble it wherever as it comes to them, the different parts of nature, if you're paying attention to Marlowe, their eyes will glance at something as they're walking and hold it as the cart moves and as they're walking, as though they're kind of registering and like trying to hold that data in their mind's eye as they pass through nature. And through their trip, anytime they've hit a city or a village, Marlowe has paid a lot less attention to the things in the cities and villages and the condensed population that they might have encountered, paying way less attention to that. So every time they cross into nature of any form or fashion, it is kind of odd because their personality doesn't seem to be like, ooh, we speak for the trees kind of vibe. But there's a curiosity about nature more than the people that this plague is affecting. So they're just scanning everything they possibly can.
So, Marlowe, throughout the course of this journey, you have seen the devastating effect that the Crimson Shade can have not only on humanoids, but on the flora and fauna of the world around you. And it's just as devastating, but there is something more. The more that you see how the natural world is being affected, the more tired you feel.
Right. Super fun.
You share in what you can only imagine is a fraction of the exhaustion that these creatures feel while under this particular ailment. And The clock is ticking.
Were we given any kind of parameters? Like, hey, you need to. I know that we need to work as quick as possible because it is an active plague. But were we set out to save anybody in particular, or just the world? Vague.
So as it stands right now, it seems that only the region of Rahadrian has been mostly affected en masse.
Okay.
Once you crossed the sea, you saw very, very few examples of this plague, and not nearly as devastating as it seems to be concentrated in that part of the world. You as a group have not been dictated to save anybody in particular. Marlowe, however, you know that is not the case for you.
Okay.
You have certain interests in seeing this plague banished, more so than the rest of your group.
Okay.
Now, as the three of you come upon Dorea, you see that it is not unlike many towns that you have seen before. It has always been described to you as kind of a small town with the hold kind of being the center of everything, almost as if the hold is the reason that town exists. But as you approach, you see one thing that you generally do not see in small towns, and that is these very high stone walls with kind of parapets scattered around the top, with these massive gates that you are approaching, and it is notably absent of many people that seem to be attempting to get in.
All right. I guess Marlo will kind of look at the group. Is it just the three of us, or are there more in our party?
So it was just the three of you, and then you have Gravis, who was the person who has been kind of wheeling you guys about this part of the world.
Okay.
He's a stout little halfling fellow, white hair, a rough patch beard, but a very, very exemplary mustache. That you have veered off the path just a bit occasionally, as he would hold the reins with his knees while he applied his mustache wax to keep it ever so pumped.
I mean, hey, you take the little joys, right? Marlo's gonna glance at the party and point towards the wall around them. I wonder if this wall here is keeping something out. Well, we all know what, but does anybody clock it as anything particularly arcane in this moment? As they're approaching it, can we all kind of vibe check it?
If anybody would like to do an Arcana check, they are certainly welcome to.
I'm gonna, to make sure it's not particularly possibly trapped or anything.
And then everything explodes and you all die.
Yeah.
Guys, have a good night. This was wonderful.
Tin sucks at Arcana Can she just cast find traps?
Oh, that works even better. I feel like going through the front gate is a bad idea. It's all I'm saying.
What's the range on find traps?
120 feet.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you could feasibly get close enough where like you're not like suspicious, but you're still well within range. So you cast find traps. And that just happens. Yeah, there's no checks involved with that or anything. Yeah.
You just cast it and it says you sense any trap within range that is within line of sight. A trap for the purpose of the spell includes any object or mechanism that was created to cause damage or other danger. Thus, the spell would sense the alarm or glyph of warding, so it's natural or magical traps.
Natural or magical. Okay, good. That's a good distinction.
It reveals that a trap is present, but not its location. But I do learn the general nature of the danger.
Okay.
So I'll know like what vibe the trap gives and that it's there, but not where.
All right. I'm gonna have to split some hairs here.
It's a very specific spell.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. It's fine. I'm just trying to think of the best way to.
General nature of the danger posed by the trap. So maybe that's just a scale. Like,
Or
would it kill us?
Is it danger to you specifically?
Damn it, Zach.
Like the danger that it would do, like.
It just says a trap for the purpose of the spell includes any object or mechanism that was created to cause damage or other danger. So, like something that wasn't created to cause, like a cliff wouldn't count because no one created a cliff to cause damage. But if it was created with malicious intent,
like this thing was put here, so if you step on it, you will get hurt.
right? It wouldn't reveal a natural weakness in a floor, an unstable ceiling, a hidden sinkhole. Those are the examples of spell.
Right. Okay. So. And maybe this is me. I'm gonna say that you cast find traps and you don't feel any like you don't feel any danger. Like nothing in this wall gives you like the spidey sense that the closer you get, the more danger you are in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's what you get.
Amazing.
It looks fine. I think.
Okay. Then we can keep going. Just wanted to make sure. Big wall.
Maybe they're just scared of snakes or something.
I mean, there's also a lot of valuable information in the hold. I can see why they would be protective of it. Tamsin says without looking up.
Just going.
Tin will just shrug. Not super interested in that specifically, but I don't know, maybe somebody is.
Marlo will like gesture to Gravis as they're getting distracted with like their beard while we're kind of having this side conversation. And she's like, okay, enough with the beard. Let's go. We're going. We need all the stuff in the cart, including Tamsin. As like, I think Tamsin is the only one who's in the cart right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. You just you got the little flashy thing. So you guys are in possession of a seal from the mages of Rizia, who kind of set you out on this mission. That is your ticket inside.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just go on, you flash that little doodad, and we should be home free.
Marlo has her hand out already with it. Like, we need the stuff in the cart too. So she already has it up.
Yeah. Well, it's my cart, so hopefully they let you in with me and all that. But we'll see what happens. And as you are all approaching, you see that there, from far off, there are two guards in full plate armor, both holding halberds. And the closer you get, you see one just kind of silently puts up their arm.
I think Marlowe's hand is still up, like not really paying them much mind other than examining the ground around them and just kind of like move.
So
They
as
just-
you,
They
Oh,
just
go
have
on.
their hand up like this. Like,
Yeah.
just hold it out flat. Okay, Tin's just gonna high five it. Like, totally missed the social cue and was like, okay.
Yep. You hear the slight ring of metal being slapped.
Fantastic.
Marlo, as you come forward with the seal, you see that the other one, who is not like gesturing you to stop,
Mhm.
silently moves forward, and you hear the clink clank of the plate armor as it puts its hand out, waiting to receive the seal.
The seal won't come out of their hands, but they'll shift so they can see it directly. Like sticking it right in front of their face, but not like dropping it in their hand.
You see it sits there wordlessly with its hand out.
I shall drop it.
As you drop it, you hear the clink of metal making connection with metal. As it closes its hand over the
The vending
seal.
machine.
Yeah, it's on the recorder going into the vending machine, yeah. And you see, like, sharply turns 90 degrees and gestures with his hand in as the gate begins to open.
We'll go through, man. Yeah, we'll get a mission. We better not get thrown out.
We got shit to do.
Yeah. Let's
Marlo,
go.
give me a perception check real quick.
No. 19 in total.
Perfect. So as you all come through the gate, you glance back for like just a second as the gates are closing, and as the guard turns another sharp 90 degrees back into his original position, you see the back of this guard, and traditionally in the back, plate armor has these straps that help connect them to other pieces of armor, and you can see the back of where the greaves connect. And the one part that just never seems to get covered by plate armor is the back of the neck. And as you glance back,
Oh.
you notice that there is nothing between the bottom of the cuirass and the top of the helmet.
Oh, cool. Well, that makes a little bit more sense, I guess. There's nothing in those. I mean, physically speaking. As she like points her thumb back a little bit. Those suits of armor aren't filled with anything. Or something really, really tiny.
They moved, though, so...
Just a hell of a defense system, I guess. I wonder if they're connected to anything else around here.
So they're animated?
Yeah,
Hmm.
magically, I assume. Which is probably why they weren't so enthusiastic about your high five there, Ten.
I mean, he held his hand out for it. It seemed like maybe making them mad isn't a good idea.
Well, mad isn't what I think they were. I'm not sure they were anything in the moment. Either way, I guess we'll figure it out if we get in trouble.
Can we get into the building we need to go to without the chip thing?
Well,
Well, we each have one, so.
as long as we don't lose each other and lose the other two, we should be fine.
And I
Yeah.
guess that remains to be seen.
Yeah,
As you all,
I tried
Yeah.
not to give it to them.
as you hear the definitive clunk of heavy iron gates closing behind you, you are now faced with the sprawl of the town in front of you. Sprawl is a very strong word. You can see the other side of the wall that surrounds this place very clearly, as it is only about 500 yards in front of you.
Amazing.
The town is smattered with a couple of buildings that look like they've not been properly tended to in quite a bit. But in the center, you see where there would normally be kind of like a town square type situation, that you have this very not fancy looking, but just this very well kept like storefront. It almost looks like white stucco walls with wooden trim, a very well thatched roof, and there is a soft glow coming from the inside. And as you like kind of take in, you notice there are a few people that are kind of milling about, but they all seem to be working. Like there's a dwarf that is like has 2 sacks of grain on his shoulder and seems to be moving to a storehouse a little bit east of you. There are 2 halflings that are kind of like carrying these few stacks of books that are a little too tall for them, but they're doing their best. Everyone just kind of like diligently to their task of whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing.
Watching them move around, can we see if and how many of them are infected?
Sure. Give me a perception or medicine check.
Okay. We're gonna do. They're the same. It doesn't matter. I got 17
On
perception. We'll say.
perception. Perfect. Yeah. So as you're looking around, you're kind of taking in everything and everybody, or what little there is. There seems to be no like trace of the plague here.
Okay.
Nobody is bearing those like familiar like crimson and black streaks.
Okay.
Nobody, you don't really hear anybody wailing out in pain or
Yeah.
anybody sobbing in mourning. So it's a far cry
Jeez.
difference from the area that you came from.
Are these people making the same steps back and forth, or are they actually freely moving as we're meandering through? Like, are they stuck on a track doing the same thing?
So they seem to be kind of like they are following these paths, but not in like an automatic way. Like this is the path that they travel every day to work.
Okay. Cool.
It's
All
like
right.
the grain goes from this point to the storehouse. The books go from this
Okay.
point to wherever.
They're just
So
walking
no.
with purpose.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lore Master, can we see the hold from here?
So what the only things that you see are what I have given you.
Oh, we have to go into the shop. All right.
Hmm.
Amazing. Let's go into the shop, everybody.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I suppose once there's the realization, it's like, oh, we're not looking for some grand stone edifice.
Yeah.
That's moderately disappointing.
I agree.
Tamsin will hop down out of the cart and move towards the shop, shouldering the giant bag of scrolls.
As you all kind of disembark from the wagon, you see Gravis kind of pulls the wagon off to one side and goes, "All right, yep. If you need anything, I'll be right over there." And you see he points to this kind of like ramshackle building, but it does have a sign out front. The Inkwell Tavern.
Amazing.
And he just goes, "Just don't expect to leave tonight, because I can't."
Priorities.
All right.
In we go.
Yeah, let's do this.
So you all head into the shop, and you see that there is this kind of like tall, olive-skinned elven woman standing behind the counter. And as you glance around, it looks to be like more of like a bookshop. Very humble, not one of those bigger on the outside or bigger on the inside type situations. Just a very neat, well kept bookshop. And as you come in, you see she kind of looks up from behind these half moon spectacles and closes the book that she was perusing, and she goes, "Oh, well, how can I help you?"
Good afternoon. We have been sent by the mages of Ressia. And I'll hold up one of the sigils.
And you see, in more of a warm and kind and caring fashion than how you experienced it outside the walls. But you see, she just kind of holds her hand out. She goes, "If you don't mind."
2 down. Sorry.
Of course. I will place the seal in her hand.
And you see she snatches it back and then holds it up and seems to be inspecting. You see she does that little coin across her fingers and kind of brings it back. Yes, you certainly were, weren't you?
Yeah, she said that already, so.
And you see she kind of hooks it up into the air and opens up this little pouch in her pocket and clink. She goes, "Well, you will be needing something out of the back room then."
Several things, most likely. We are here to gather information about the unfortunate illness.
Oh, no. Why you're here is none of my business. I am just here to direct. And you see she goes back behind the counter and pulls back this curtain. And you can't really see into whatever is back there. She pulls back the curtain, you just see this kind of like inky darkness.
Real quick, the seals, as far as we're aware, is it normal for people to just take them and keep them? Are they like worth money, or are we supposed to return them? Like,
Getting robbed.
what is the economy of these seals that people keep?
So the only thing that the Mages Guild in Rezia told you is that they were necessary to get where you were going.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we've only got one.
And you see there, to give you an idea of what these seals look like. So you have this gold coin that is emblazoned with this flame that is surrounded by kind of like an Ouroboros, like dragon situation.
Okay.
And it's in a bag at her waist.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna try to take it back as we walk by. Gonna pickpocket. See how it goes.
Gonna
Sure.
kick us out.
I mean, she'll let like Tamsin Marlowe go through first, but at whatever point she's passing by at the back of the line, she's just gonna try to like kind of do that.
Okay.
Okay, Ranger.
Sleight of hand is high. I don't know. It's not a rogue, but similar. Okay. It's gonna be a 17.
17.
Eh.
Okay. So who goes into the like past the curtain first?
I think Tamsin would.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then Marlo will follow.
Perfect. So Tamsin, as you kind of like cross the threshold behind this curtain, Marlo, you see Tamsin disappear from view. Just fully enveloped in this darkness that you yourself are also about to walk forward into.
Can't be worse than the plague. I mean,
And Tim, as you see Marlo step forward, past the threshold of the back room, as it's being called, you see that they disappear also. And as you go forth to kind of give yourself a refund,
Yeah.
your fingers act almost of their own accord away from the rest of your body as you have trained them to do. And your index and middle finger begin to find the pouch that they were looking for, and the strings that are holding it closed easily come undone. But as you dip your fingers into this pouch, what's your AC?
16?
get bodied.
Okay.
Is the bag booby trapped? I was worried about the wall. Turns out it was the coin purse.
So you feel this very sharp pain in your first two fingers as the bag closes around you, and you feel these sharp needle-like teeth piercing your fingers. You take 7 piercing damage.
Okay.
And your fingers are like they're latched on.
Well, that's awkward.
Goes, and you see she was like as this was happening, like just like had the curtain pulled back and was just kind of like looking off in the direction, and she like slowly turns her head back to you and goes, I'm sorry, did you need something?
I mean, I just thought we probably needed the chip back.
Well, if you needed it back, I wouldn't have taken it from you, would I?
I don't know, there's some crappy people out there. You coulda.
There certainly are. One of them has 2 of their fingers locked into my belt.
I mean, fair enough, but like, do we need it for later?
You have everything that you need currently, I imagine.
If you say so. I don't know. Anyway, do you want to open your bag or do you want me to just take it with you? Because I'm not gonna cut my fingers off. Like, I could, but I don't really feel like it right now. Might need them later.
For someone with such a concern for their outer appendages, you seem to endanger them with wild abandon.
I mean, why survive if you're not gonna live? But I can fight you if you want, if that's easier for you than just opening the bag.
One-handed?
I mean, yeah. Or you can just open the bag.
Is this an intimidation or a persuasion attempt here?
She is just saying it straight, like just whatever comes to her brain. She's not really making a huge attempt to do anything.
Free action, smartass.
Please and thank you.
Her charisma is 8. She's not really trying to pull anything, so I can roll whatever you want me to roll. But she's just bad at people.
God, I feel that. Let's go with. Now, if she says, "Yeah, I'll fight you," are you gonna fight her, or is this a bluff?
She's pretty serious. Like, she's been out in the woods enough. Like, she's not really threatening, but she's like, I mean, if you want to fight, we can. Like, that's literally her demeanor. She's just like...
Also felt. All right. Get it.
With the rest of your party having vanished into the other room.
Yeah.
So maybe persuasion, because she's not really trying to threaten. She's just like, these are the options that I can think of. So whichever one you want.
Go ahead and give me persuasion.
This will be fine.
She's a very matter of fact. That was low. That's gonna be a 7. So.
Yeah. So as you so confidently kind of present these options to this individual, you hear this like low growling from behind you.
Okay.
And you feel heat from behind you. And as you look behind you, you see that there is this looks to maybe be some kind of like a mastiff almost, but its fur is this like coal, ashy black with glowing red eyes, like a furnace.
Super good boy.
like a furnace, and you can see steam just like roiling out of its snout as it kind of levels its eyes at you, and you see the individual to her, and she goes, "Oh, no, Fergus, it's all right, we're not gonna have any problems, I don't think." And you see she takes her hand and kind of like just like baps the bag, the coin purse a little bit as it like the teeth retract and you have free use of your hand again.
Sweet.
It was
Oh no way! You have a dog? What's his?
of sorts. You might want to catch up with your friends though. It is very, very easy to get lost here.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. She's gonna walk into the darkness.
Whoosh. All right. So now that all three of you have passed through this veil of shadow, you the sensation of falling is not something that you expected to feel. Yet, however, it is the sensation that you are feeling. After the first minute, it gets a little boring.
A minute? That's a long time at free fall, dude.
You're just screaming until you're like, huh, okay,
Yeah.
can we hit the bottom now?
Yeah, all of the butterflies that you would feel kind of calm themselves down after about a minute and a half. Oh, hi beings. Oh, look at you. Look at that puppy. Look at that boy. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm easily distracted by cute dogs. But as you all kind of pass through, falling and falling and falling, you feel a sudden stop. Not the sudden stop that would kill you, but a just a sudden stop, and then about a 6-inch drop down to a floor.
Amazing.
And as you all kind of get your bearings about you, you see that you are in this cavernous is really the only way to describe it. Space filled to a ceiling that you can't really see, with rows and rows of scrolls and tomes and manuals and manuscripts. There is off on a shelf to the right, you see that there is a full skeleton of what you can only inference is some kind of giant in a case. And even that does not begin to scrape the height of this treasure trove of knowledge.
Cool.
And as you all look up and kind of like dust yourselves off, all of a sudden you see there is this very, very pale-faced man, very sharp features, sunken in cheeks, with very like jet black hair. You're not sure if he was always there, but he is here now. And you see he kind of stoops down just a little bit and goes, "Hello, my name is Corvax.
Does this figure look like a changeling or like a high elf to us, or what are they other than humanoid and
Gaunt.
yeah.
That's a great question.
Amazing. I would
so
love
as
an
it-
answer for it.
As it stands, wouldn't you? As it stands right now, the individual who has identified himself as Corvax appears to be this very gaunt, human-esque figure. Marlowe, you don't really see the eyes that don't quite belong that you're used to seeing with people who share the talents that you do.
Okay.
But while he appears human, he doesn't
Like
something
an animatronic.
something feels weird.
Okay. All right. Are you the keeper of this space, or are you seeking another coin?
Oh, now that you mention it, that is part of. But we can dispatch with that when it is time for you to take your leave.
Sounds like it'll be easier than we were thinking, I guess.
So, you see Korvax puts out his hand to help one of you up. And you see he has these like long spindly fingers. Anybody who would like to may give me a perception check here.
I'd do that. That's one of the
Yeah.
things I can kind of do good.
That's a 15.
Okay.
Rolled so low, it doesn't even matter. It was a 7.
Okay.
13.
Okay. Tin, your hand hurts. Like that's kind of like your deal right now. Like your
She's very distracted by like trying to look tough. Like she's like acting like it's
Mhm.
not hurting.
yeah.
It's the main focus.
Sorry, Marlo, what did you get?
13.
Okay. Yeah, this is fairly easy. The other two of you, as you see, he like reaches out his hand. The face that you are looking at is very like pristine. The skin is almost like porcelain-esque. But as he reaches out his hand, you see that it is covered in all of these small cuts and scars and calluses.
Cool. So like an automaton, but made like a ceramic or something different. You don't have to tell me. I'm just curious now as Pyrea because it's a cool character.
you keep spitballing, friend.
All right. Sir. Okay. I know. Okay. I get it now. Okay. Marlo will clock all of this as they're getting up and taking the spindly fingers.
Yeah. Now as you go to reach out, you feel like these should just be cold hands. But they feel mostly normal, not overly hot,
Okay.
not overly cold, just like
Living.
a person's hand. Calloused and beaten up, but a living hand nonetheless.
All right.
And he goes, "You all have come seeking knowledge, yes?"
Yes. You're right. Exactly.
And what knowledge is it that you seek?
Does this plague have a name? Have we named it other than scary crimson and black?
The Crimson
Streak
Shade.
plague?
The Crimson
Okay,
Shade
there we
is
go.
what the people have been calling it.
We're seeking out information about the Crimson Shade. The plague from she's like vaguely pointing from up or around wherever we came from.
And you see the Crimson Plague, and he kind of like reels back a little bit and looks up into the air. Just sits there for a moment. And he goes, red and black streaks, characterized by extreme pain, ultimately resulting in death. Is that the one?
That would be it, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible thing. No known cure, as I understand it. But of course, there are many things that we do not know.
Well, until we know them, which is what we're here for.
Well, we shall look then. And that is where we're going to take our break. Come back in a few minutes and we will see what kind of weird shit Corvax has for all of us. So we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Rebels Without a Castle, the Vastra lore shot, the price of knowledge. Our three possible saviors have made their way to the Hold Arcanum, the largest trove of knowledge in the known world, hoping to find some answers to deal with this plague, the Crimson Shade, that has been ravaging the region of Rahadrian. So as Corvax kind of turns around, you see that like you've been operating mostly with like a dim light situation. Like honestly, maybe even your eyes are just kind of adjusted to mostly darkness. But as Corvax turns around, he kind of like flips his hand out, and you see that all these sconces on the wall start to all light up. Now you're still operating on sconces, so it's still pretty dim. Not great reading light, but better than it was. And the Hold Arcanum is at your disposal. So we will do this in 3 parts. We will start with Marlo.
Yes.
Marlo, where would you like to start?
I will start with any arcane knowledge that has to do with red vein magic, like any kind of illness that has been associated with red magic or red veins, just kind of going the arcane route of that, but looking on how it is related to nature, like how the earth, it might have come from something in the earth, something like in Last of Us, it's mushrooms, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to find some kind of plant or animal or something that might be affected by this arcane red magic-y.
So you're looking more for like kind of like a patient zero situation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you kind of relay this information to Corvax. He goes, you would like this section, I think, and snaps his fingers. And Tin and Tamsin, you see Marlo kind of just disappear.
Oh, spooky.
The Marlo, you see like a brief flash of darkness, and as you kind of re-materialize in this section of the hold, you see that you are in this section that seems to almost look a little overgrown.
Okay.
Like there are these it's like there's this kind of like, it looks like tree that is like growing into like the stone, and some of its branches have kind of vined off and are forming the shelves that are holding these very old looking thick tomes.
Amazing.
And we will,
oh yeah, go ahead.
yeah, we'll jump back to you in just a second. And you see Corvax goes over to you, Tin, and goes, where would you like to begin?
Yeah, is there some section that has like pictures with maybe things similar to what we're looking for?
So,
on the
You see there's
covers
just-
or
Just
like
kind of like a
medical.
blank stare for a second. I think I know exactly where to start with you. And you see, snaps his fingers. Tamsin, you see Tin disappear. Tin, there is a flash of darkness, and you rematerialize by yourself in this section that seems to be less populated with books and more kind of floor to ceiling tapestries as far as you can
Oh.
see.
That's actually so cool. I thought he was just gonna put her in like a kid's book section. I love the tapestries.
Here are the ABCs of magic. Um,
A is for arcane.
and we will circle back to you in just a moment. Tamsin, see, Corvax comes over to you. Are you still kind of shouldering your bag of scrolls here?
Yeah, just got like it's a big old crossbody bag.
Hmm.
Although for the amount of stuff that's in it, it should probably be a little heavier.
And he goes, you look like you have more of thoughts on where you would like to begin.
You could say that. I'm looking for arcane gone wrong. You hear tell of magic that has been corrupted and unleashed and therefore turns itself into all manner of ailment.
Magic is the thread that holds this world together, and sometimes those threads fray and break, and what comes after can be bad. I think I know where to begin with you. Good luck. And you see Corvax raises his fingers, as he's done twice before, and snaps them. Tamsin, you feel you have this moment of darkness where everything is black around you, and when you rematerialize, you see that you are standing in front of these old this looks like the best kept part of your public library. Like, it's the wood, while definitely old, appears to maybe have been like revarnished and properly oiled. The books here do not contain moths and dust and little critters. And you see kind of emblazoned on a lot of the spines of these books, you see a wildflower that is set against a crescent moon, a hammer set across a blazing red sun, a longboat that has been pressed against a sea of blue, a black axe against a shield of blood red, and many other of these symbols. Would you give me a history check, please?
Yes, but first and foremost, I'm going to cast Enhance Ability on myself.
Hell yeah.
Cast them spells. Cast them spells.
22.
22. You have seen these symbols all your life. These are the symbols of the gods in all of their fashions.
Well, I suppose if you're going to start somewhere, you may as well start at the top.
Fantastic. So we will stop there for just a second. Marlo, what are you looking for here?
Marlo is first going to cast on herself comprehend languages as she just starts scanning through all of the books. Basically, it means that I know the literal meaning of all the words that I hear, write, any written language. Yeah. Just making sure I read it out loud. I was like, whoop. But in that moment, she is going to look for disease in like crops, things that might have started a famine, specifically to do with again, that red magic. She's just looking for clues of the arcane red magic somewhere. Yeah, that's all I got right now. She's gonna jump in and start checking it out.
Perfect. So as you kind of peruse through this section, you see things are kind of alphabetized, more not really alphabetized, categorized is the word I wanted. Categorized by kind of like style of flora and fauna. So you have crops, flowers, fruits.
Also,
yes.
I'm gonna add into that while she's looking for anything of the earth that might have been affected. She's also looking at like throughout history. You said this region has been affected by it the most. She's also kind of trying to figure out why that might be, if there is like any kind of anything in the earth that might be protecting the other parts of the world versus like, you know how like plants and stuff die and then, you know, you don't have allergies as bad. Am I making any sense? I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure I'm following. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's trying to figure out why it's happening the most in the Rehedrian area versus others, and like if she can make a connection of why it's here versus other places and through nature. There we go.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So you know that Rehadrian is much more of like a farm friendly part of the land. The soil is rich. Most of the food and livestock for the continent come from that region, and it has been devastating for not only the commerce aspect of it, but just wholly people are running out of things to eat. So as you kind of like you grab a book that is like wheat and how to manage year to year increases in demand. You find this other book that is cattle rearing and how to get the best the best milk and how to ensure that the milk stays long, and just kind of all of these books about how civilization has managed to corral parts of nature to serve their needs.
Okay. Is there any indication of what happens when that like that's not the case? Like the cattle, has there been any what is the cow disease that we get where
Mad
they're
cow
like,
disease?
oh no, yeah. Things like that.
The oh no cow disease,
Yeah.
So you like find this book on diseases of livestock and how to prevent them. And of course there is gut rot for pigs, where pigs, if they ingest a certain amount of non-nutritional value, they just begin to never feel full, but they waste away. For chickens, really the biggest concern is them regaining their ability to fly. And unfortunately, according to this book, there's not a lot that can be done, because life finds a way sometimes, and the best thing you can do is place some kind of net over the enclosure and pray that evolution does not find you this day.
So useful. Thank you so much.
And for cows, you see a lot of accounts, because cows, according to this book, seem to be the most affected by changes in nature. Specifically, as that is entirely what they subsist on. And the ground can be too rich. Nutrients are great. Black soil is preferable, but there is such a thing as too much of a good thing.
Okay. Awesome.
And when cows consume this grass that has been grown in this overtly rich soil, their tongues and the inside of their ears start to turn black. And nothing terrible seems to happen to the cow so much as just the meat gets too tough. It's too sinewy.
Okay.
And it's just overall not super appealing to look at. Unfortunately, none of this sounds like what you were dealing with in Red Adrian.
No, it definitely doesn't. Thank you.
But now if you have a bad steak, you'll know why.
Listen, I got it. I know this. All right. Cool. Wow. I'm fucking stumped now because I'm just like, all right, cool. You gave me not the right avenue.
Agriculture and
yes.
and what not to do.
Okay, so she definitely is throwing that idea out the window. In this space, I have stacks and stacks of books around. I would like to vibe check the books to see if there is anything. Since I did like the comprehend languages, I am looking for anything that looks particularly, I don't want to say like demonic and evil in nature, but it's red and it's black, okay? So in this world, we're connecting it to something.
Don't come in with color palettes, act like you know.
Okay, that's why I said, and then yeah, that's what I'm gonna check next. Is for anything in the of like the history that we know follows the verbiage of like charisma, amazing, crimson and black in their names, on their house sigils. Like, is this some kind of family throughout history that is like summoning this plague on purpose? You know what I'm saying? Like cult shit.
Okay. Yes, valid.
We're here for the cult shit.
I'm
Yeah, for the cult shit.
Well, apparently the cattle and the pigs are not here for the cult shit.
Okay. So you kind of go. So this isn't the section for what you want then at this point. So you're gonna have
Okay.
to go. You're gonna have to go wandering.
Okay. I'll go wandering.
All right. Give me a survival check, please.
Amazing. Well, this is gonna be great, I'm sure. That is going to be a 14 in total.
14 in total. Okay, perfect. So as you kind of wander away from these books that have been kind of reclaimed by nature, you kind of stumble out into this other hallway, also lined with books, but also lined with you see these like items that are in cases. There is this one amulet that's like in the shape of a butterfly that faintly is glowing. There is a dagger with a black blade
Okay.
with this big red ruby in the hilt, and just kind of like museum-esque type feel for everything.
Mhm.
And as you're kind of perusing these and trying to find just where you should be, you hear a light whistling from somewhere in the hold.
All right. That feels safe. Let's go. I'm going towards it.
So you follow this whistling, and this is, it feels so oddly familiar, but you are having a hard time placing it. Could you give me a history check?
Oh, okay. 18 on the die. 18 in total.
Of course. The birds sing this song at home. It sounds exactly like what you hear walking through the forest when you want to commune with your patron, but there shouldn't be birds in a library?
I pick up my pace towards the chirping, whistling.
And we will be right back to you.
Amazing.
Pin, you are in the world's best picture book section at the library. All of these tapestries are laid out in front of you, and you see depictions of great battles and coronations and dragons being slayed, dragons destroying castles. It looks like as if all of Vastran history is laid out here for you to consume. Where do you want to start? What do you want to look for?
Not knowing a ton about the plague, she's gonna be looking for anything that might resemble it in the pictures, or even just patterns that mimic it in the design, even if it's not on a person. And then anyone casting spells with like roughly the same colors, or any tapestries that just look like they have sick people on them, maybe even just to see if she can get information about plagues as a whole.
Okay, perfect. So you see there is this the tapestries don't seem to be laid out in like a linear fashion. So you're not looking at like a timeline of history. Unfortunately, that would be too easy. But as you kind of like walk through this endless feeling hall, switching back and forth and back and forth, as you are consuming all of these tapestries, you do see one that is depicting it looks like a field of wheat, but the wheat is withered and kind of like blackening, but you don't catch any red notes in this particular one.
Okay.
As you pass through looking at others, you do see other terrible moments in history. As you see the depiction of this city that sits at the mouth of a river, and it just has this haze over it, this purpley dark haze. And in the border of the tapestry, you see there are these little skulls that are kind of like worked into the knotwork that surround the tapestry. Could you give me a history check, please?
Yeah. Yeah, she's so good at that. So good. It's gonna go great. That's a 4.
A 4.
Yup.
That's weird.
It's very odd.
Yeah, feels ominous, but who knows why.
Who's to say? Only
And
the original artist.
As you pass through, you see more and more tapestries. You see one that seems to depict this group of bears that is around these 4 tall stone pillars, with this beautiful elven woman in the middle of them, and there are purple and green mushrooms that have been worked into the border of this tapestry. You see this depiction of a great serpent that has been hauled up onto one of those like hooks that are set into a pulley and pulled up almost like a great fish, to show off. And the background that has been provided is this like snowy ice-capped village, with all of these big holes in the ground. And as you're taking in a lot of these, you start to hear this clinking sound. And as you kind of like tune yourself in, could you give me either a perception or investigation check?
Yes. I'm gonna try letting D&D Beyond roll it, because my dice have not been liking me tonight. It likes me less. That's gonna be a 5.
5. All right. It's hard to identify what the clinking might be.
Okay.
But it is persistent and seems to be coming from the far end of the hallway here.
Okay. And it's not crazy. I'm trying to decide if I want to cast Pass Without a Trace. I'm gonna hold off on it for now, I think. But she's gonna be trying to like continue to pay attention to it just in case.
Okay. And you keep searching through these tapestries as you kind of make your way down this hall, looking for just traces of red and black, just looking for a motif across this endless span of history. And we will come right back to you. Tamsin, what are you looking for here?
Well, I'm looking at the sigils of the gods, and we are dealing with a plague, with disease. And I know, they don't like us to talk about the ruined ones. And it may be a little on the nose, but this seems like it would be something right up Festral's alley.
Tamsin, as you kind of like pace up and down looking at these tomes, you notice that these sigils, these ruined ones, are noticeably absent from this part of the Hold Arcanum. And as you sit there and think, you realize that they were also absent from your scroll on the way in.
Cowards.
As you pace up and down, you look very, very diligently for the sign of the Green Lady. Give me a perception or investigation check.
We're gonna investigation because that's what I've got my enhance ability set on.
All right.
Ooh. Come on. That was almost a 19, but no, that's a fucking 4.
It's 4. The history of the gods is long and storied, and therefore there's a lot of it. And axes begin to look like flowers, and moons begin to look like spears, and spears begin to look like skulls. It all just starts to blend together.
Okay, fine. If I have to sit here all God's damn night, I will.
And as you plop down with the tome that you have decided to start with and paw through it, you hear humming coming from a different part of the library.
Can I go read in peace or not? What is this? Hello?
Give me a history check, please.
$22.
A 22. This tune you know all too well. Your father used to hum it when he chopped wood. And it's been many years since he's chopped wood.
Be rather difficult for him to chop wood at this juncture. He's been dead for about 10 years now.
All the more reason this is not where you expected to hear that tune.
I don't appreciate mind games.
No, you would appreciate a more direct approach, would you not? You hear echoing throughout the library.
Yes, in fact, I find deception and subterfuge, frankly, a waste of time.
When you have the time, it can be quite entertaining.
Not all of us have eternity to while away. There are lives at stake. Are you going to help me or just be cryptic?
Follow the tune and we shall find out.
There is a long, irritated sigh. Stand up, tuck the book under my arm, cast mage armor, and follow the song.
So, as the three of you all follow familiar sounds, for the first time in a few hours, you all find each other in this circle, this hollow among many, many tons of tomes and time. But you are not alone. As you all emerge from your various parts of the great library, you see now sitting in front of you with just a simple armchair. A slightly purple tinged skinned individual with these long horns that almost threaten to arch back and touch the back of his neck. He is sitting in a sharp black suit with a bright red ascot. And you see he is pawing through this unlabeled book as you all arrive. And looks at the three of you as you show up and goes, "You have come for knowledge."
Why else would we be here?
You see he closes his book. And you see stands up from the chair and goes to kind of like take a pace towards the three of you. And you see on the ground around him these sigils flare up in bright blues and purples. And you see he stops mid-step and he goes, "Ooh. It has been a moment since I have tested these."
What are the sigils? Can
Give
we tell
me-
that they're keeping him in?
Give me an
Or
Arcana,
them?
Arcana check.
Listen. Okay, for a nat 20
A nat
plus
20.
3, 23. I spent a lot of time reading about cattle and pigs, friend. We something's gotta stick.
So,
Just give me one sigil, man. For
well,
nat 20.
so here's the thing. With a natural
Oh.
20.
Uh,
So, what?
or do we recognize who this tiefling is? Like, would we have an indication of who they are? Like either or. I'll take a nugget of either or at this point. Just nothing about cattle or wheat, please.
So the thing about cows is that they
I'm gonna send a cow after you.
so with a natural 20, you see these sigils flare up, and Marlo, your eyes get wide. Because these sigils, when laced together, are a very, very powerful holding spell.
Yeah. Okay.
But with a natural 20, as you sit there, you've seen these sigils before. You just weren't sure what you were looking at. You thought this was just intricate carving in the stone, but now that they have flared with their arcane might, you realize this same holding spell lines the walls outside Dorea.
Okay. Interesting. What an fascinating array of runes there.
I would like
What
to
do you-
say that these are my handiwork, but that would be taking credit where credit is not due.
Or wanted? Perhaps? Did you also not have anything to do with the wall? Just asking. Just asking.
Have they built a wall? Interesting.
Sus vibes. Sus vibes. Cool. All right. My Arcana check for the wall wasn't so off base now, was it? Anyway, she's gonna glance at the others. Matching runes here. Kamzen, do you recognize any of those? By chance? Or 10, I mean, hey. I'm not sure where you guys were, but...
Ken, I know you
okay.
can't read, but do you know runes?
Yeah, I
Hey,
think she'd be like
pictures.
fairly- Yeah,
Pictures.
Like they're hieroglyphic, but I mean, if she'd seen them before, she'd probably recognize them. She's got decent wisdom, so she'd street smarts, things mark people's property or whatever. She knows to avoid them. So maybe she'd be
Street smarts.
cross-referencing it with something that she saw in the woods or in any of the tapestries. I think she'd recognize runes.
Yeah, that's a picture.
Yeah.
It's a picture.
That one looks like a sun.
So yeah, so you all recognize that this is like a binding
Yeah.
spell.
Mm.
And you see this tiefling circles back to his chair and sits down, and you see crosses one leg.
So he's definitely a tiefling.
That is what he appears to be.
Definitely looks like a tiefling.
Okay. Why is a mere tiefling being held in a binding circle with a secondary binding wall around the city?
In such a
That would be something to ask your high librarian. And
What
I
did you
am.
do?
I have done all this. Every teensy weensy bit of knowledge that is held here. Did you think mortals could acquire this knowledge? Across the span of millennia, mortals would merely scratch the surface of the knowledge that I have acquired here, and for that they imprisoned me. Then you see his eyes go all black, and you see the skin goes from light purple to this deep red. The horns sheen in black matte, and just the tiniest bit of flame flits back up from behind the chair. And you see he puts his hands back down, goes, "I'm sorry, that was rude."
Touchy.
want to let him out of this circle so bad.
So, I'm assuming you're the one that called all of us here.
Oh, no. No. I have nothing to do with that. I influence nothing beyond these shelves, beyond these pages. This is my greatest work and my prison.
Oh, I don't mean from outside of the city, dear. I mean from the separate areas of the library that we were all perusing.
Oh, yes. Although one of your party seemed to just, how do mortals say it? Go with the flow.
I mean, generally, swimming up current doesn't get you far.
Got a point. What do you want?
Well,
As I said, I don't much like deception or subterfuge. It's a waste of time.
Well, deception has never been my particular cup of tea. I tend to give people enough truth until they have enough to hang themselves with it. But the same cannot be said for our friend Corvax. Isn't that right, Corvax? And you all see Corvax comes up from among the shelves and is now in this space with you.
Does Corvax look the same?
Corvax looks very much the same.
Okay.
And as you see Corvax approaches, the runes kind of pulse and flicker just a bit. And you see this tiefling looks down at them and goes, "Oh, it must be that time then." And you see Corvax looks sullen. It must be then. And you see he pulls out this little, little penknife and reaches out his scarred hand and cuts one of the unmarred pieces of flesh and drips it onto the runes. And you see they flare up and settle back down, and being as all of you are magically inclined, you feel this settling in the air. This very much locked in-ness.
Mm.
I am so sorry about this next part, but know that I didn't choose this.
Um,
It's not super
Which-
comforting.
yeah. Which way?
If I remember correctly, it was Tamsin and Marlowe that gave up their sigils, correct?
Oh, you shithead!
Yes.
yes.
And you see the tiefling smiles, and he goes, I've been informed that you built a wall, Corvax. See Corvax still very sullenly. Yes, we did. We can't have this happen again. And the blood of the librarian will keep this binding spell intact, but to maintain the binding spell of that magnitude requires much more blood.
Is there any shifting in the room around us once this was done? Are we able to move freely, or are we feeling something else other than the feeling of being locked in, as you said?
So as you all hear this information, Tin, you feel fine.
Okay.
You feel this slight warmness in your pocket where the seal is residing.
I think Tin, out of just general hesitancy about what's going on, to try to get more time to think, would try to cast Entangle and see if she can just get everything to like pause.
On who?
It's a 20-foot square within range, so it would just be like kind of everybody around her. I don't know how it works inside of the sigil ring or not, but like she would literally just be like, hold on, we're all just gonna sit down. Like, not particularly like aimed at anybody, just like
Wow, super sus. We're gonna lay down for a second. Yeah, sure, go for it.
Some floor time, please.
yeah. So everyone would just have to roll like a strength 14 saving throw.
Okay.
And then the ground turns into difficult terrain as plants sprout out and try to grab everybody.
All right. So the tiefling got a 22, but Korvax only got Korvax got an 11. Korvax not very strong.
Okay. Awesome. So Corvax is restrained, the tiefling's fine, and the ground's just difficult terrain.
Okay, and you see the vines kind of like reach up and like wrap around Korvax. He goes, I'm sorry, but it is already done.
What is already done?
And you all hear the creaking and groaning of wood coming from the shelves that surround you. And you hear the fluttering of pages being
Cool.
opened rapidly. And Marlowe and Tamsin, you are all suddenly at once surrounded by these tomes and manuscripts and scrolls in this vortex. And you feel one cut, and then the next, and then the next, until they are impossible to differentiate.
Can I do anything?
As the blood rapidly leaves your body, you find
Asshole.
it very difficult
Okay.
to do anything.
This is one of
And
those lore shots.
What about fire? Does anybody have a fire spell?
But I can't do anything. I got a lot of fire spells. I got a whole wall of fire.
I mean, part of me is tempted to just dispel magic it, but that's going to complicate things needlessly.
Well, I was gonna ask if I can do anything, but we're stuck. 10 can, but
I
so
didn't take anything with fire because I assumed everybody else always has fire. There's always a fireball.
so 10. All of a sudden, you become very important.
what the fuck is? What's going on?
It's not who you want to put your
As-
destiny in the hands of at all.
As you look down at your hands, and they start to become very, very pale for an Earth Ganassi. You
But-
reach up and grab your face, and you can feel your cheeks beginning to sink in. And you are suddenly, inexplicably filled with knowledge. Everything that there is to know, you know.
Do I know how to make
You can
whatever's
read.
happening stop? I can read? That's the craziest part of all this. Does she know any way to make what's happening stop? Like to...
So, with your newfound knowledge, you know this above all. If Rantari, the demon prince of knowledge, were to escape this hold, not only would the hold arcanum be lost, but the things that Rantari could do to the world after so much downtime would be catastrophic.
And their deaths are it's necessary that people die to keep him bound.
Your blood will maintain the binding in the hold, but there must always be blood shed for the binding on the wall. And as you feel all of this information wash over you, this realization of what is happening, you look over into the patch of briars that you've just conjured, and you see that Korvax has, for more or less, kind of disintegrated into a husk. As the Hold Arcanum has a new librarian.
Are my friends already gone? She was considering like passing the seal. Did it just happen like so fast?
As you look over at Korvax and you glance back to see what could possibly be done for your friends, you see that the pages disperse and they are gone.
Like no
But
trace, or they're like.
And as the pages disperse, you see on the ground where they were standing 2 seals emblazoned by a flame with a dragon eating its own tail.
No.
What? Did we get spirited away, or did we get yeeted? Are we gone? Like, did our kindness pay off? We paid the toll. We get to live. Yay!
So what if I told you it's the exact opposite of that?
Damn it! Damn! I knew
the
it!
Seals so you couldn't be protected. That's what it was. Seeing that her friends are gone and like still trying to process that information, she's gonna start taking like sticks and things out of her bag that she's collected over time and erecting like little almost like headstones, but like little markers next to their sigils, just to try to like honor them before trying to sort through her knowledge to see if there's at least anything else she can do to solve the plague, save the other lives.
So as you kind of construct these small monuments, you see Rentari sitting in his chair, and he's kind of like slouched back a little bit. And he goes, "Oh, it would seem that I have a new compatriot. I thought it was time."
I think compatriot's a stretch there, pal.
Oh, you'll warm up to me. Everybody always does.
I don't know about that. Not sure you're gonna like the new management after it cost me 2/3 of my party.
Well, you have what you came for.
So what's the deal now? Am I stuck down here with you, or do I get to leave and come back while you rot?
Oh, you and I share the same prison, albeit with you have a little bit more reign. You can at least walk around. I haven't stretched my legs in quite a while.
Well, good. If you want me to cut them off and stretch them for you, I could do that, but I'm pretty content to leave you in your little circle after that little fiasco.
Oh, I have nothing to do with that.
I mean...
That was your kind.
Well, it may be my kind made the trap. You're the one who made it necessary.
Fear leads people to do many questionable things.
Causing fear, in and of itself, is pretty questionable.
Well, it is
It's hard.
sometimes difficult to fight by nature.
Hard to blame an animal for attacking you after you've backed it into a corner.
I like you. We're going to have such a good time together.
Yeah, the pleasure's all yours, buddy. Is there a way for me to contact the librarian at least or something?
Oh, the secretary. Yes, no, she should be. Oh, right, on
yeah, Miss
schedule.
Pointy Bag.
Perfect. And you see the olive-skinned woman comes out from the shelves. And
She's just been there watching.
she has Fergus by her. And she goes, "Librarian, what news would you like to send to Rezia concerning the plague?"
What do I know at this point? I know everything in theory. Do I know what's causing the plague and like how to fix it?
You kind of like have a brain blast moment. Your eyes go wide as you go through this massive Rolodex that now resides in your brain, and the plague is godly in nature, brought on by these forgotten gods, and the only way to get rid of it is to the people, they must erect temples. Temples. They need to sow the ground with salt. They need to kill the land before it can be reborn. They must raise Brahadrian to purge the plague and start again. Tamsin was on to something.
I will relay relay that information to her. Get it to them fast and get rid of your stupid knife bag while you're at it. And then she's gonna go lay down by her friend's sigils or runes, I guess, that are in their place, and just be like, well, you're right, Tamsin. And then she'll just like close her eyes and contemplate her existential crisis of existence.
Very good, librarian. And you see she turns and walks, and as the camera kind of takes this bird's eye view of this circle of Ranthari, the demon prince of knowledge, and the Hold Arcanum's new librarian, everything fades away into the shelves of the hold itself, and that is where we are going to end our session. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We were so glad to be back, especially with another little lore shot before we get back into our main campaign next week.
Which Denny's are we supposed to meet you behind?
I hope everybody had a good time. If you didn't, that's not my fault. Come back and see us next week, where we get back into our main campaign, the Stone Lord's Folly. A couple of our party members just snagged a curse, despite
Shit! Yeah.
despite lots of
Sorry,
warning.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So the hits just keep on coming. Thank you to my lovely cast. You're all super. And I'm glad you all live very far away from me right now. So I mean, I'll see a lot of you at some point this year.
Yeah,
I'll
you
see you
will.
at PAX,
Yeah.
you bitch.
Yeah, love you. But yeah, so that's gonna be the game tonight, folks. So again, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Again, my name is Zach Savage. You can find me on all the important socials at Zach Savage Lore. I'm gonna go ahead and plug my own little project, the Stagger Sword Adventurers Guild 5e supplement, which I've been diligently working on. It was supposed to be like 3 pages, and now it's like 40, and it's like not even like halfway done. So we are just chucking through it. You might see some familiar faces in there, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. And as always, if you had any problems with any of the calls that I made as the DM of this campaign tonight, you can meet me behind the Denny's on 422, and we can settle it. So yeah, I'll see all of you there. Just let me know when your flights get in.
Yeah, I'll pick you up from the airport. Like,
yeah, I'm respectable. So yeah, that's it for me. And I'm gonna turn it over to my cast, and I'm gonna tell you who they are and where you can find them. Hyacinth.
I'm Hyacinth. My handle's at Hyacinth Wonders on pretty much all the social media platforms. When I'm not here, I'm doing cosplay skits or playing gaming streams on Twitch. Tonight I was playing Tin, the super socially awkward and illiterate Earth Genasi, who is no longer one of those things. And normally I play Seraphina, the High Elf Cleric, here on Wednesday nights. And I will see you all next week.
Fantastic. Laura.
Hi, hello, good evening, folks. You can call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. Tonight I have been your storm sorcerer who is now, fueling a wall of magic. It's whatever. There's a reason I don't get attached to one-shot characters.
For real.
But if you want to see what else I'm doing, the easiest way to do that is check out my website, lauratutu.com. There you will find all of my socials and all of my silly little projects, including but not limited to Shadows over Baldur's Gate, where my sweet little celestial warlock just had a face-to-face encounter with the Whispered One himself, in which she told him to fuck off.
yeah,
Which is super cool.
And she's still alive, so we're doing something right. Shadows over Baldur's Gate every Friday over at Crit Hit Chronicles. Obviously, I'm here on Wednesdays for Rebels Without a Castle. And if you want to see me do more World of Darkness vampire things, you're going to want to pay attention to Queen's Court Games. And check out Huddy von Schlant's channel for Cradle of Liberty, our Boston Vampire Chronicle.
Yes. Cool. Boston Vampires. I love it.
Boston Vampires.
Boston Vampires drain you like a Duncan. And last but not least, the fantastic artist behind all the art that you have seen, are seeing right now, and will see in the future, Pyrea.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pyrea. I was playing Marlowe, who is no more. Shame. But usually I play Espen, our Circle of Stars Druid / Ranger, and you can find me as Pyrea on all socials. I'll probably be opening up my commissions fairly soon. So
Ooh.
yeah, I'm excited about that. But follow me on my socials when I post about stuff. Yeah.
And
Okay,
that's
Zach, back to
what
you.
they do. Perfect. Yeah. Well, this was fun. This was real. I think it was real fun, and I will let you decide whether it was for you or not. You guys have a good night.